Welcome to Lesson 10.9 on editing levels. Effective revision requires understanding that editing operates at multiple levels, each addressing different aspects of your writing. Approaching revision systematically through these levels ensures comprehensive improvement. Many writers make the mistake of focusing immediately on word choice and grammar while leaving structural and logical problems unaddressed. Others endlessly restructure without ever polishing prose. Understanding editing levels helps you allocate revision time appropriately. This lesson examines three primary editing levels: content editing, which addresses structure, logic, and substance; clarity editing, which improves sentence-level communication; and copy editing, which corrects errors and polishes prose. Each level requires different techniques and attention. Working through levels systematically produces proposals that are well organized, clearly written, and professionally polished. Editing operates in a hierarchy with different levels addressing different concerns. Understanding this hierarchy helps you approach revision systematically. Content editing addresses structure, logic, substance, and completeness. At this level, you consider whether sections are organized effectively, whether arguments flow logically, whether substance adequately addresses requirements, and whether anything important is missing. Content editing may involve significant restructuring or rewriting. Clarity editing addresses sentence construction, word choice, and flow. At this level, you consider whether sentences communicate clearly, whether words are precise and appropriate, and whether prose flows smoothly from point to point. Clarity editing refines how ideas are expressed. Copy editing addresses grammar, spelling, punctuation, and formatting. At this level, you correct errors and polish prose to professional standards. Copy editing ensures technical correctness in written conventions. Work top-down by addressing higher levels before lower levels. There is no point perfecting sentences you might delete during content editing. Fix structure first, then clarity, then copy. This sequence makes revision efficient by avoiding wasted effort on passages that may change. Content editing examines the fundamental substance and organization of your proposal. This highest level of editing addresses whether you are saying the right things in the right order. Structural analysis asks whether organization is logical and effective. Does the current arrangement serve your goals? Would reordering sections improve flow? Are transitions between sections clear? Content editing may involve moving, combining, or separating sections for better organization. Argument assessment asks whether reasoning is sound and persuasive. Do claims follow logically from evidence? Are conclusions justified? Content editing identifies logical weaknesses and strengthens argumentative structure. Completeness check asks whether all requirements are addressed adequately. Does every required element receive sufficient attention? Are any requirements minimally addressed or missing? Content editing ensures responsive coverage of all criteria. Substance evaluation asks whether content is strong enough. Is the evidence compelling? Are qualifications demonstrated convincingly? Content editing identifies where substance needs strengthening and may require research or development to add missing material. Content editing employs specific techniques to assess and improve substance and structure. These techniques help you see your proposal objectively. Outline reverse creates an outline from existing text to see structure clearly. Rather than outlining what you plan to write, outline what you have written. Extract the main point of each paragraph and section. This reverse outline reveals actual organization, which may differ from intended organization. Seeing structure clearly enables effective restructuring. Requirement mapping checks each requirement against your text systematically. List all requirements from the NOFO. For each requirement, identify where in your proposal you address it and how thoroughly. This mapping reveals gaps where requirements receive insufficient attention. Logic testing challenges each claim and connection. For every assertion, ask what evidence supports it. For every logical connection, ask whether the inference is valid. This testing identifies unsupported claims and faulty reasoning that undermine persuasiveness. Gap analysis identifies what is missing or weak. After requirement mapping and logic testing, catalog what needs addition or strengthening. Gap analysis produces a revision agenda identifying specific content improvements needed. Content editing results in 4 types of decisions about your text. Each decision type addresses different problems identified during analysis. Adding includes missing information, evidence, or explanation. When gap analysis reveals insufficiently addressed requirements or unsupported claims, addition supplies what is needed. Adding may require research, data gathering, or consultation to develop missing content. Deleting removes irrelevant, redundant, or weak material. Not everything you wrote deserves inclusion. Off-topic passages, repeated information, and weak content should be cut. Deletion improves focus and makes room for stronger material. Many writers find deletion difficult, but removing weak content strengthens overall quality. Moving reorganizes for better flow and logic. When outline reverse reveals structural problems, moving sections, paragraphs, or sentences improves organization. Moving does not change what you say, but changes when you say it, which affects how readers experience your argument. Rewriting replaces inadequate passages with stronger versions. Sometimes a passage cannot be fixed through minor revision. Content editing may require completely rewriting sections that fail to accomplish their purpose. Rewriting creates new text rather than revising existing text. Clarity editing refines how your ideas are expressed at the sentence and paragraph level. Once content editing establishes what to say, clarity editing improves how you say it. Sentence level focus examines how individual sentences communicate. Are sentences grammatically sound? Do they express one clear idea? Are they appropriately concise? Clarity editing addresses sentence construction to improve communication. Word choice involves selecting precise, appropriate, and powerful words. Are you using the exact word that conveys your meaning? Are technical terms necessary, or could simpler words work? Are verbs active and strong? Word choice shapes how readers understand and feel about your content. Paragraph flow ensures smooth progression within and between paragraphs. Does each sentence connect to the next? Do paragraphs have clear topic sentences and logical development? Do transitions guide readers between paragraphs? Flow affects comprehension and engagement. Reader accessibility makes prose easy to read and understand. Can readers follow your meaning without struggling? Is prose appropriate for your audience's expertise level? Accessible writing communicates effectively. Inaccessible writing creates barriers to understanding. Clear sentences share certain characteristics that facilitate comprehension. Understanding these principles helps you construct sentences that communicate effectively. One idea per sentence avoids overloaded constructions. When sentences try to convey too many ideas, readers struggle to process them. If a sentence contains multiple independent ideas, consider splitting it into separate sentences. Simplicity aids comprehension. Subject-verb proximity keeps subjects and verbs close together. When many words intervene between subject and verb, readers lose track of what is doing what. Restructure sentences to minimize the gap between subject and verb. Close proximity clarifies relationships. Active voice uses active constructions when possible. Active voice clearly identifies who is doing what. Passive voice obscures agency and weakens prose. While passive voice is sometimes appropriate, default to active constructions for clarity and energy. Appropriate length varies sentence length for readability. All short sentences create choppy, monotonous prose. All long sentences exhaust readers. Mix sentence lengths to create rhythm and maintain engagement. Variety makes prose more readable. Word choice significantly affects clarity. The words you select determine whether readers understand your intended meaning. Precise vocabulary chooses words that exactly convey your meaning. Near synonyms have different connotations and implications. Select the word that precisely expresses what you mean. Imprecise vocabulary creates ambiguity. Precise vocabulary creates clarity. Concrete language prefers specific, concrete terms over abstractions. Abstract language is harder to understand and remember. Where possible, use specific, tangible language that readers can visualize and grasp. Concrete language anchors understanding. Jargon management uses technical terms only when necessary. Every field has specialized vocabulary. While jargon communicates efficiently among experts, it excludes non-expert readers. Use jargon when technically necessary, and your audience will understand it. Otherwise, prefer accessible alternatives. Strong verbs select action verbs over weak verb constructions. Compare the project will facilitate improvements with the project will improve. Weak verb constructions pad sentences and dilute meaning. Strong verbs communicate directly and energetically. Replace weak constructions with powerful verbs. Clear paragraphs structure information for reader comprehension. Paragraph-level clarity ensures that groups of sentences communicate effectively together. Topic sentences lead paragraphs with clear main ideas. Readers should know immediately what each paragraph is about. The first sentence should announce the paragraph's purpose. Topic sentences orient readers and set expectations for what follows. Logical development organizes sentences to build understanding progressively. Each sentence should connect to previous and subsequent sentences. Information should flow in a logical sequence. Readers should experience the paragraph as a coherent unit, not disconnected statements. Transition words use connectors to show relationships between ideas. Words like however, therefore, additionally, and in contrast signal how ideas relate. Transitions guide readers through your logic. Without transitions, readers must work to understand connections you intend. Appropriate length keeps paragraphs focused and manageable. Very long paragraphs overwhelm readers. Very short paragraphs fragment ideas. Most paragraphs should develop one main idea in 5 to 8 sentences. Adjust paragraph length based on content complexity and purpose. Clarity editing employs specific techniques to identify and fix unclear prose. These techniques help you recognize problems in your own writing. Reading aloud means hearing your prose reveals awkwardness in visible and silent reading. When you read silently, your mind often fills in what you meant rather than what you wrote. Hearing the actual words exposes problems. If it sounds awkward when spoken, it needs revision. Sentence isolation reads each sentence independently to check clarity. Does each sentence stand alone as a clear statement? Taking sentences out of context reveals whether they communicate independently. Sentences that depend on context for clarity may confuse readers who do not share your context. Simplification Pass looks for ways to say the same thing more simply. For each sentence, ask whether you could express the same idea in fewer or simpler words. Simplification often improves clarity. If simpler versions preserve meaning, prefer them. Fresh eyes return after time away to see prose objectively. Immediately after writing, you see what you meant to say. After time away, you see what you actually said. Building time gaps into your revision schedule enables more objective assessment. Copy editing addresses mechanical correctness and consistency. This lowest level of editing ensures your polished prose meets professional standards. Grammar correction fixes grammatical errors such as subject-verb disagreement, incorrect pronoun usage, dangling modifiers, and other violations of standard grammar. While readers may not consciously identify grammatical errors, they create negative impressions and undermine credibility. Spelling and punctuation correct mechanical errors. Misspelled words and punctuation mistakes signal carelessness. While spell checkers catch many errors, they miss some types such as correctly spelled wrong words. Careful copy editing catches what automated tools miss. Consistency checking ensures consistent usage throughout your document. If you capitalize a term in one place, capitalize it everywhere. If you use serial commas, use them consistently. Inconsistency distracts readers and suggests insufficient attention to detail. Format verification confirms formatting meets requirements. Font, margins, spacing, page limits, heading styles, all formatting elements should comply with NOFO specifications. Format problems can result in rejection or create negative impressions. Verify formatting as part of copy editing. Copy editing benefits from systematic techniques that ensure thorough error detection. These approaches improve copy editing accuracy. Multiple passes focus on one error type at a time. Rather than trying to catch all errors in one reading, make separate passes for different error types. One pass might focus only on comma usage, another might check spelling. Focused attention catches more errors than divided attention. Backward reading reads sentences in reverse order to catch errors. Reading forward, your brain anticipates what comes next and may skip over errors. Reading backward, each sentence stands alone without narrative momentum carrying you past mistakes. This technique is particularly effective for catching spelling and grammatical errors. A style sheet creates a reference document for consistency decisions. When you make choices about capitalization, hyphenation, abbreviation, or terminology, record them. Refer to your style sheet throughout editing to maintain consistency. Style sheets prevent inconsistent decisions made at different times. Checklist review systematically verifies all requirements. Create a list of everything that needs checking: page limits, required sections, format specifications, required attachments. Check each item systematically. Checklists prevent overlooking requirements. Certain copy editing issues appear frequently in proposal writing. Knowing common problems helps you look for them specifically. Subject-verb agreement ensures subjects and verbs match in number. Errors often occur when words intervene between subject and verb or when subject number is ambiguous. Check every subject-verb pair, particularly in complex sentences. Disagreement is a common error that undermines credibility. Pronoun reference makes pronoun antecedents clear. When you use it, this or they, readers should know immediately what noun is referenced. Ambiguous pronoun reference confuses readers. Clarify references or replace pronouns with specific nouns. Parallel structure keeps lists and series grammatically consistent. Items in a list should share the same grammatical form. If the first item is a verb phrase, all items should be verb phrases. Broken parallelism sounds awkward and distracts readers. Comma errors misuse commas in various ways. Missing commas, extra commas, and comma splices appear frequently. Review comma rules and apply them consistently. Comma errors are common but fixable with careful attention. An effective editing workflow processes your proposal through levels systematically. This workflow ensures efficient use of revision time and comprehensive improvement. Content first fixes structure and substance before refining prose. Spend time on organization, logic, and completeness before working on sentences. Content editing may result in deleted or rewritten passages, making premature clarity editing wasteful. Clarity second improves expression after content is stable. Once you know what you are saying, focus on how you say it. Sentence construction, word choice, and flow deserve attention only after content is settled. Work on clarity when structure is fixed. Copy last polishes after higher levels are complete. Grammar, spelling, and formatting review should come after content and clarity editing. Changes at higher levels may introduce new errors. Final copy editing catches everything that remains. Final review means a complete read-through to catch remaining issues. After editing at all levels, read the entire proposal one final time. This comprehensive review catches problems that escaped level-specific editing and verifies that the complete document works as intended. Let us summarize the key points from this lesson on editing levels. Editing operates at three primary levels. Content editing addresses structure, logic, and substance. Clarity editing improves sentences, word choice, and flow. Copy editing corrects errors and ensures consistency. Each level requires different focus and techniques. The workflow principle recommends working from higher to lower levels systematically. Content editing precedes clarity editing, which precedes copy editing. This sequence prevents wasted effort on passages that may change during higher level editing. Work down through levels for efficient revision. Specific techniques improve editing effectiveness at each level. Reverse outlining, reading aloud, backward reading, and other techniques help you see your writing objectively and catch problems. Apply appropriate techniques at each editing level. In our next lesson, we explore the halo effect in proposals. How first impressions color subsequent evaluation affects your entire proposal's reception. Understanding this psychological phenomenon helps you create strong openings that generate positive momentum. Practice exercise. Take a section from your proposal and edit it through all three levels. First, content edit for structure and substance, then clarity edit for expression, finally copy edit for errors and consistency. Notice how each level addresses different concerns.